Naked man. Naked man. I guess I did it about 7 years ago. I had a lot of needles sitting around my house, and I had an excessively large one. It was like a 10 gauge syringe needle, and I got bored one day and jammed it through my lip and put some jewelry in it. It's been there ever since. Well, aside from when I was in jail. Just a vertical nipple piercing. I did it myself first several years ago, and it got infected really badly, and I refused to take it out. It swelled up to the size of an eyeball, at which point I decided that it was probably not going to heal. So I took it out, and tapioca pudding came forth, and so eventually I got around to getting it re-pierced professionally, and I hate to use that word professionally about piercing, but I had someone in a shop do it, and now it's fine. And actually I was thinking about stretching it some real soon. The reason it's so saggy and beat up looking is because I went from a 20 gauge, which is like a wire hoop, and got an insertion taper and just jammed it through up to a 0 gauge in about a half an hour, and then a couple weeks later stretched it up again to a 00, and then lost all the jewelry because I went to jail. And when you go to jail, they have a tendency to throw out a lot of your jewelry. So now I just have a 6 in it, and it unfortunately has that sag thing. It's kind of like a lowrider nipple. Oh, those are scars. They're very old scars. Basically razor cuts, broken glass, barbed wire, all kinds of stuff. Some of them were intentional, some of them were not. Most of them were in some form or other intentional. Just kind of self-loathing marks, if you will, and you will. Originally, it was intended to be, if you're familiar with the band Jane's Addiction, it was supposed to be the cover of their second album with the word "Sex is Violent" branded into it, and all that I had was the words "Sex is Violent." Very poorly done, but I figured, hey, one of these days I'll get it fixed, and then I just decided, screw it, got it covered up. Oh, that's one of my favorites. It's it's a logo for a band I used to be in called Socially Handicapped. It actually was, I was really fucked up one day, and I saw the handicapped parking things, and I just drew one on a piece of paper real quick, like exactly like the handicapped parking thing, and then I went home and got even more fucked up and said, alright, now let's see, logo, socially handicapped, and I made minor adjustments, and there it is. And I then proceeded to go everywhere in Gainesville that had handicapped parking and spray paint the socially handicapped logo over the handicapped parking symbol. Naked man. Naked man.